Okay, so welcome back, and we are going to now go through a walkthrough of a third reading passage for the practice test that the TOEFL iBT has up for free on their website. And I'm just going to walk you through our methodology for answering questions so you can understand how to apply our methods when answering questions. It's very important that you understand this because this way, by watching the way we do it, you can learn exactly how to apply our methods and our methodology. Okay, so we're dealing with the geologic history of the Mediterranean. And so let's look at our first question, because as you know, that's what we do. We go and look at our first question. The objective, the word objective in the passage is closest in meaning to what? All right, this one is really straightforward. Okay, this is really straightforward here. Everyone should know what the word objective means. If you don't know, then you really have to go back and study some basic vocabulary. But an objective of this particular cruise was to investigate the floor of the Mediterranean. All right, so we can use substitution. We could say a goal or a task, but any of those words, goal, objective, task, will fit the answer choice of purpose. Achievement is wrong, requirement is wrong, purpose is wrong. Purpose is correct, and feature is wrong. So our correct answer here is going to be purpose. That means the same as the word objective. Question number 16. Which of the following is not mentioned in paragraph 1 as a change that occurred in the fauna of the Mediterranean? Alright, so let's look at our answer choices. And when we look at our answer choices, well, I'm sorry, we're not going to look at our answer choices yet. Let's first understand something about this question that's really important. Okay? Here we're dealing with an except not least question. And so that's why we're looking at the answer choices, because we have to see which of the answer choices is not mentioned. All right, that means 3 of these are mentioned and 1 is mentioned. Okay, so let's have a look. All right, most invertebrate species disappeared during a wave of extinction. So now, do we see that one? All right, and that is mentioned. All right, because it says right here that most of the older organisms were nearly wiped out. So we have that one there. We see it, and that means that can't be our answer choice. Choice number B says, look at choice B. A few hardy species wiped out many of the Mediterranean's invertebrates. Alright, we see new species, but we don't see that many new species wiped out. Okay, so that is our answer choice, because I don't see that one here where we see that language. I don't see that answer choice that says that information. And so that is, nothing about a few hardy species wiping out the invertebrates. So that is our answer choice. And so normally on the real test, I would tell you to move on to the next question. But just for the sake of helping you see, choice C is incorrect also. It says that some invertebrates migrate to the Atlantic Ocean, and we see that here. So that one is mentioned, so it can't be our answer. And our last one says, new species of fauna populated the Mediterranean when the old migrants returned. And we see that answer choice right here. The migrants returned bringing new species with them. Alright, so that is our except not least question, and our correct answer is B. Alright, so let's take a look at number 17 now. What does the author imply by saying, not a single pebble was found that might have indicated that the pebbles came from the nearby continent. What does the author imply by that? All right, so we're dealing with a purpose question here. And you know from our course that we've taught you that you can have two kinds of purpose questions. You have a one-sentence purpose question, or you have a two-sentence purpose question. All right, you have a one-sentence purpose question when you have a semicolon within that sentence. So let's go here and look. Remember, our method for a purpose question is that we must look at the sentence before if it is a two-sentence purpose question. All right, not a single pebble was found that might have indicated that the pebbles came from the nearby continent. Look at the previous sentence. The sample consisted of pebbles of hardened sediment that had once been soft, deep sea mud, as well as granules of gypsum and fragments of volcanic rock. Not a single pebble was found that might have indicated the pebbles came from the nearby continent. So no pebble found in this list before it came from the nearby continent. So that's what our purpose will deal with, that information. That none of the pebbles or rocks found might have come from the nearby continent. Alright, choice A, the most obvious explanation for the origin of the pebbles was not supported by the evidence. That's our answer choice. How do I know that? Because the previous sentence said they found these volcanic rocks and these pebbles, but there was no indication that they came from there was no indication that they came from the nearby continent. So the most obvious explanation, the nearby continent, for the origin of the pebbles was not supported. Alright, so that's our answer. Normally, pick this answer because you recognize this our correct answer choice. Move on to question 18. The geologists did not find as many pebbles as they expected. Nope, doesn't say that. The geologists were looking for a particular kind of pebble. Doesn't say that. The different pebbles could not have come from only one source. That's not mentioned either. Alright, so let's move on to question number 18. Which of the following can be inferred from paragraph 3 about the solid gypsum of layer? Keywords. Keywords here. Solid gypsum layer. Alright, I need to find those keywords. And also, this is an inference question. So we have to make sure that we are following our method for doing an inference question. Find our keyword sentence and then pick the answer that must be true based on the evidence. The answer that must be true based on our keyword sentence. So let's go find that language. Paragraph 3. Alright, here I see solid gypsum. See gypsum here. But here I see gypsum layer. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for gypsum layer. What that tells me is that my answer is going to be right here. My answer is going to be right here where I see gypsum layer. Okay? Sediment above and below the gypsum layer contain tiny marine fossils indicating open ocean conditions. Alright, sediment above and below the gypsum layer contain tiny fossils indicating open ocean conditions. Again, sediment above and below contain marine fossils. Right? So, we have to find an answer choice that deals with that specific information. Now, if you notice, I didn't look at any other sentence. Didn't need to. Alright? That's our keyword sentence right there. Alright? That's our keyword sentence right there. Our answer is going to come from that. It did not contain any marine fossils. Bam! That's our answer choice right there. Alright, the keyword sentence talked about marine fossils. It did not contain any marine fossils. That's what we can infer. How do we infer that? Well, again, the sentence said there were marine fossils found in the layer above the gypsum layer and below the gypsum layer. Alright? And so that tells us that the layer in the middle did not have any marine fossils. Alright, it had formed in open ocean conditions. It doesn't say that. This is a trick answer. It uses exact language, open ocean conditions. All right, a lot of students will look here and say open ocean conditions. That's where it was formed. It doesn't say that. What it says is the sediment above and below the gypsum layer indicated open ocean conditions. Don't fall for exact language, please. Please don't fall for exact language. It's a trap for people who do not have a good grasp of English, and that is not you. Letter C, it had once been soft deep sea mud. Wrong. Don't see it in my keyword language where I see gypsum layer. A student would pick C if they made the mistake of reading too much. Remember, you never are supposed to read more than what's necessary. The inference is based on the sentence that has the keyword language. Now, some students, if they looked at that, they would have started way up here and read the whole paragraph, waste of time. They would have saw soft, deep sea mud, saw that exact language, and then thought, well, I see those words in the answer choice, so I'm going to pick that answer choice. It is wrong. It contains sediment from nearby deserts. This is not mentioned also. Okay? The word nearby is what really messes it up. It doesn't say nearby deserts. Again, if you remember from our trap answers, we give you, when you see these kind of adjectives, nearby, close to, when you see those kind of adjectives, they often put those type of adjectives inside of our answer choice to make it incorrect. So be careful with that, and when you notice it, just be on the lookout that it's probably wrong. All right? So now let's look at question number 19. And let's have a look at it and see if we can get ourselves a really good answer. A really good answer. All right, select two answer choices from paragraph 3 that identify materials discovered in the deepest part of the Mediterranean basin. Deepest part. Okay, so we're looking for our keywords are what? Materials discovered in the Mediterranean basin. So when I find that language, then I will be able to find my answer choice. All right, so let's have a look. So I know that answer choices go in chronological order. My previous one ended here, previous question, so I'm going to start from this point and look. All right, and I can see right here, I see Mediterranean basin. All right, I see Mediterranean basin. So I know I'm in the right answer right here, and I see deepest part. That's my keyword language right there. I see it. So again, following our method, we know that we have our answer has to come from this from this sentence. As they drilled into the central and deepest part of the Mediterranean basin, the scientists took solid, shiny, crystalline salt from the core barrel. All right, so I see they took salt. That's one of our answer choices. But we need two. So that means the next answer choice is in the next sentence. Interbedded with the salt were thin layers of what appeared to be wind-blown silt. So I see right now my answers are salt and silt. So now I just need to go down to my answer choices. And we see for B, thin silt layers, for C, crystalline salt, and so I know those are my answer choices. Volcanic rock fragments and soft sea, deep sea mud, you should not have picked those. Those answers are not in our keyword sentence, and the only way you would have gotten it is if you went up to the top of that paragraph and read the whole thing, okay? Only read what's necessary to read and pick what's in those sentences. All right. Let's look at choice 3. Let's look at number 20. What is the main purpose of paragraph 3? Number 20. What is the main purpose of paragraph 3? So we have a purpose question. All right, purpose question. And we have to have a good idea. For this question can be kind of time consuming. And so you want to have a good idea what this sentence is about. The good thing is, what makes it easy for us is you already have seen paragraph 3 in the previous 2 questions. So you should already have a pretty good idea of what the purpose of paragraph number 3 is. All right? But let's go back and look at the topic sentence. And you should remember some of the information from the previous two questions that you've had. All right, it says, with questions such as these clearly before them, the scientists aboard the Glomar Challenger proceeded to the Mediterranean to search for the answers. All right, I know my other sentences talked about the pebbles and the pebbles not being found near the continent. I know they talked about the gypsum layer not having marine fossils. All right, and then they talked about what they did find was salt and silt. Now, I know that information because of the previous questions. Many times you should be able to use the previous questions to give you an idea of the information that's contained within a paragraph. All right, so that makes it easier for us to handle this kind of question. To describe the physical evidence collected by Shu and Ryan. That's our answer choice right there. All right, physical evidence is synonym for the pebbles and the rocks and the salt and the silt. That's all describing physical evidence. And the words Shu and Ryan, those two people, they are synonyms for scientists. All right, so A is clearly our answer choice. All right, because of we know what the topic sentence says, and they talked about what they found. All right, B is incorrect. To explain why some questions posed earlier, there's nothing here examining earlier questions in the passage. To evaluate techniques used by the scientists, Shu and Ryan, no, there's no evaluation of the techniques. They talk about what they found, the evidence they found. To describe the most difficult problems faced by the Glomar Challenger expedition, absolutely not. This paragraph is not discussing problems, so that is also clearly wrong. All right, number 21. According to paragraph number 4, which of the following was responsible for the evaporation of the Mediterranean's waters? All right, here we go. Key word is evaporation, right? And we have Mediterranean. So this is a details question. So let's go ahead and find our detail that we are looking for. Let's go look for our exact language, and then we're going to find our answer very quickly. There's Mediterranean. All right, I don't see evaporate or synonym for evaporate. Here, I see Mediterranean and I see evaporate. So I see evaporate, okay, and I see Mediterranean. So I know this is my keyword sentence. My next sentence doesn't start with this, these, those, that, or any of that language, so I know I don't need to read that sentence. I'm going to stick in my keyword sentence and I'm not going to move. Coastal movements closed the straits and the landlocked Mediterranean began to evaporate. Coastal movements closed the straits and the landlocked Mediterranean began to evaporate. Okay? The movements of the Earth's crust. All right, that's my answer choice. I see it right there clearly. Now, on the real exam, again, you see that's your answer choice A, pick it, move on to the next one. Save time, be efficient, be confident. Be a confident test taker. That's what I want you to be. Be a confident test taker. Okay? I don't want you to be a wishy-washy test taker who goes through checking all the answers because they're unconfident and not sure. Then they end up saying some exact language and changing their mind. Stick to your keyword sentence. That's where the answer comes from. Be confident. All right, there's no mention of sediment, of accumulation of sediment layers, wrong. No mention of changes in the water level, wrong. No mention of changes in the Earth's temperature in that keyword sentence, it is wrong. All right? Number 22.